I'm telling you, there's a rub every 15 feet up here. We're literally where they live. Look at this, man. That's my first public land shed. All right, so we finally found some turkey scratching. Actually, I found some here and directly on the other side of this little section of laurel. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop a pin here. We'll be coming back to this spot here in a couple months when turkey season fires out. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is February 10th, and today we're gonna go for a walk. I'm just really gonna put on a bunch of miles, looking for sheds, looking for turkeys, and looking for any signs from the last deer season. Always just collecting data, trying to find out a better approach to next year. Really just started hunting the game lands hard last year. Had some good success, but always looking to get yourself a little better. I think a successful fall archery starts in the spring. It's easier to see through the woods without the foliage. You can see rubs a little farther. You can see trails before the new grass comes up, kind of see where they've been hitting later on in the year, put a pattern together. Today we're gonna put some miles on, see what we can find, hopefully run into some turkeys. Really excited about this upcoming spring gobbler season. So let's get walking, see what happens. All right, so I just got to the first stepping stone. I had the spot marked on onX. It's about a mile from the parking lot. Obviously, it's a 2-track all the way up here. Probably gets hunted pretty hard. This was kind of just a stepping stone for me. I wanted to get up here and see what this looked like. Already have not seen a whole lot of buck rubs or sign, but I did see a lot more acorns on the ground. Last year where I hunted, gypsy moths were horrible. Really no acorns over there. So just made a mental note of that. For next year, first 2-3 weeks, be a great spot to get in here. If there was acorns last year, pending frost and everything this year, there should be acorns next year. So like I said, this spot's probably hunted pretty hard. It's not too far, but it was just a dot on my onX. Gonna keep blowing through here. Might, if I come this way on my way back through, I might kind of like go through that and look for some sheds or something. But for now, I just wanted to kind of get eyes on this spot. Have a couple more spots pointed out. I'd like to get heading. I'm just gonna put some miles on today, so let's see what happens. So I was walking by the spot and I just had to jump in and check it out. A couple tips for shed hunting is you got to put yourself in a high percentage location to find sheds. Right now, deer aren't moving a whole lot. They're trying to conserve their energy. I would say bedding area, food, and then the travel corridors in between, going to be a high percentage. This looks like a spot that I would go through back on the farm and look. We're just off of the field edge, probably a transition area for them to hang out before it gets dark. I do look for a lot of things that could knock their horns off, although I think it's more likely we find more sheds where they do jumps, like if they cross a creek and then shake, or if they were to jump a fence, something like that, that could shock, kind of makes them horns fall off. But had to take a second to go through here, but we're gonna get back out on the trail, keep walking this ridge. Seen a couple rubs so far in here, but yeah, let's just keep walking through. So I'm up on top and I've branched off from where I think probably the most people hunt. And I'm kind of just on my own out here now, walking around these ridges. Walking along, big oak flat on top. I dropped over just where I would think deer would hang out. Transition lines are always like my go-to. And this is kind of a double whammy. There's actually some laurel on this side hill below me. And then I just met up with this whole section of like striped maple or mountain maple and came across some really good trails and a bunch of rubs just on this elevation. Just hit everything just perfect. I think obviously big open timber is nice. You can see a long ways, but I think the transition lines between them, those points, and this just looks like prime time. Like I would hang a stand in here with the sign that I've seen so far today. So that's what we're after right there. And we're just gonna keep walking through here, marking signs on onX, and you know, seeing if we can get in here next year and maybe kill one. All right, so I've walked like a couple hundred more yards. Still like just over between the first bench and the top of the ridge. Still on a really good trail, still seeing a lot of signs. I just kind of came around this finger and there's a beautiful bull down here. I'm gonna run past this spot because I got suckered into hunting bulls last year because they look beautiful. I like the way that you can kind of it's like a stadium, right? Like you can see a long ways. If you're calling, I feel like things have to come up over that your little bowl or whatever and see what's in there. But man, the wind swirls so bad, so be careful if you start hunting bowls. They look beautiful. A lot of times you'll see a lot of sign in there because it's great for the deer to be in there, but the wind just swirls in a hurry. I had a hard time hunting it last year, so I'm gonna run past this spot, keep working this ridge. As of what I've seen right now, I do like this thicker cover. I feel like you have better success calling to deer. Open timber, they can see a long ways. Unless you have a decoy, they're not gonna come in. So I'm just trying to find good transition areas around the thick stuff and, you know, that open timber. So I'm just gonna keep cruising through here, but I'm literally gonna put my Nikes on and run past this spot. So let's keep tooling down through this trail. All right, so today's walk scout kind of had 3 main objectives, or phases, if you will. First phase is just to get out and look for some sheds. It's the time of year, it's early February. So there's always that when you're in the woods this time of year. Phase 2, just keep your eyes and ears out for turkeys. Season's around the corner, looking for scratchings on the ground. Obviously it's kind of windy, kind of gloomy day today. Haven't really had any success with that, but always scouting for the next season. And then ultimately just putting eyes on new sections. Pulling up onX right now, you can kind of see I've been skirting the edge of, like, it drops off pretty quick over here, and right now I'm not in a section where I'm looking for sheds because there's a lot of snow. I don't think there's a ton of deer hanging out right here right now, but you can tell there's a great trail. So maybe it's not the best area to be looking for sheds, but don't overlook it. I'm gonna make a quick pass down through here. As you can see, you know, it flattens right out. My plan is to kind of walk out to this point, so it looks like a couple hundred more yards, and then I'm just going to take this ridge right around, and then I'm just going to follow it. I'm actually almost over to where I shot my bear this year, so covering quite a bit of ground. So far, if you look, I like this tracker. I've went 2.45 miles. I've been averaging 1.7 miles per hour, and I've been out here an hour and a half. So if you're going to do this walk, this tracker is a great tool. Even if you don't mark all the signs, you can just think back like, oh man, that trail was just covered with signs I didn't exactly like pinpoint, and then just kind of refer back to that trail. So I like that. Obviously you can save it, you can share it with your friends. Just make use of all your tools, and you know, that's something I'm not obviously sponsored or anything, but it is a great tool. I don't care how many people say it on their channel. So I've not paid attention to anything, I've just walked, and then this will get me back to the truck at the end of the day. I do have a charger in my bag in case the battery runs low or something, but yeah, onX, and yeah, we're just gonna circle this ridge back around and continue walking, but just wanted to share that with everyone. All right, so we're out at the edge of that dome, kind of at the edge of that finger. It drops off right behind me. I really like this spot. Getting down here, I think this is one of the best spots I've put eyes on today. You can see like all the browse, like within 15 feet of the trail has been like browsed down. There's a highway that comes around this corner. There's a bunch of deer sign here, droppings. There's oaks in here. I've seen a bunch of caps too. So they were producing last year. Got good ground cover. I like this spot because you're high enough above the ridge below you where your calls, your grunts are gonna really they're gonna travel. But the deer are gonna have to come up here close enough to get in bow range to see what that call was. They can't just look and see 200 yards through open timber. So I really like this spot. There's a little bit of cell service up here. Maybe a good spot to start running cameras in a couple months. Great highway running around the top of this. So I'm just gonna walk through. I haven't seen any rubs in this area, but I'm just gonna walk through and see if there's something. Kind of work the end of that finger back around and see what we can find. But I do like the spot. I'm gonna drop a pin here and we'll keep walking. All right, so that did not take long. I literally just shut the camera off, and this is what I'm looking for. Once I started really looking, there's a lot of historical rubs that are kind of faded and I wasn't seeing right off the bat. Older rubs from the past years, and also maybe just down over about another 10 yards, there's another trail, and I'm seeing a couple rubs on that. So puts that even higher on my list. I really like this spot. It's a long ways back here. I don't think too many people are carrying stuff back here, but just like a conversion of trails now that I'm looking, coming up this dome and kind of meeting right here where I'm at. There's some hemlock trees there. If I can get in a hemlock tree, I absolutely love that. Good background cover all year long. But yeah, let's keep walking through here. I really like this spot. All right, so not too far away from where I just did that last little video, and there's just all kinds of signs in here. I can't tell if turkeys and deer are in here scratching or what, but this area is all tore up behind me, all the way down through. And then this spot here, I don't know if this is like a community scrape still or what, but they got this tore up. There's a bunch of droppings in it. The leaves are all scraped way back like 8 feet, and then they've actually been eating on this laurel. All the tips are gone. And actually, it looks like it was an old scrape because for an old rub, that looks like the matching piece that goes on that right there. So yeah, this is a pretty good spot. Don't tell anyone. Hopefully no one's watching the end of the video. Giving away all my good spots. Yeah, anyway, like I said, this might be a place to come and start looking for some turkeys too. There's a bunch of scratching down in there. I can't tell exactly if it's just deer. A lot of sign in here. Huge rubs down here. I might walk down this way. I was kind of circling back, but I might walk down a little bit farther. Circle down through here. I like it. All right, so at the beginning of the video, one of the things that I like about scouting in the early spring before you get any foliage on is you can see really far into these thick, dense bedding areas, high cover areas, whatever you want to call it. I think I found where the deer literally live because there is so much sign in this section, and walking through in about 3 more months, you're not gonna be able to see. There's like 15 rubs that I can see just facing my direction down through all this. This spot is on fire. Like, I cannot wait to come in here with the camera. So I will say that I would take nothing back on the walk that we're doing so far today. Scouting mission, huge success. I think I literally found where the deer live in this section. Like, I love it. So we're just gonna keep easing down through and see what else we can find, but so far so good. We've got a lot of pins dropped today, so very excited about this. All right, so I'm walking not too far from where I just found all that awesome buck sign, and I looked over and I found a couple balloons. So I wanted to point out, I believe it's the Hunting Beast who has a theory about the correlation between finding balloons and good buck sign in the same area. I guess the working theory is just that the thermals in that area that suck the balloons down to that spot when they're ready to fall, and a bedded buck being able to, or a buck living in that area being able to smell, you know, things because the thermals are pulling to that area. So they can smell danger before, you know, it gets too close. So I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it kind of makes sense. And I did just find these 2 balloons probably a couple 100 yards from where I saw that buck sign. So I'm actually going to pull these and take these with me, get them out of the woods, keep walking. Let's see what we see. All right, so we finally found some turkey scratching. Actually, I found some here and directly on the other side of this little section of laurel. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop a pin here. We'll be coming back to this spot here in a couple months when turkey season fires up. Looks like a great place for them to roost, pitch off, and fly down however they want. But I didn't see them, but there's quite a bit of sign up here. So Another bonus, man. Day keeps getting better and better. All right, guys, so I'm about 2 miles from the last time I turned the camera on. I'm on a completely different ridge system now. I was walking around, and I just came across this awesome rub. There's actually a couple more. There's one behind me, if you can see it, and then there's another one over there. Looks like a really cool area between two transitions into a field. A lot of good sign on this side, too. All right, guys, so check it out. I was just walking right after I just found a beautiful rub. This little field behind me, I was just walking the edge of it. I just came across this half rack here. So this is a pretty cool find. This is a great way. My day's almost over. I'm about done to find this. It's probably, if I had to guess, both sides, it'd be a 110, 115-inch buck. Cool half rack of a 2-year-old 8-point. Assuming his other side is identical. But that's just, what a way to end the day, man. Saw some great buck sign. Wouldn't change the path that I walked for anything. I really feel like I accomplished what I wanted to. Saw some turkey scratchings. Look at this, man. That's my first public land shed. And that was like one of the 3 phases that I wanted to accomplish. So I wanted to, you know, keep an eye out for sheds, find some turkey sign, and then just muscle through, cover a lot of ground, and find some areas that had good buck sign from the previous rut. So I'm super happy with that. All right, so at the beginning of the video, I made a comment. A good way to find sheds is put yourself in a high percentage area. For me, that's either, you know, food, bedding, trails back and forth because they're not going to go too far. If you find a creek crossing or where they jump a fence. So I already found this one, Pennsylvania public land, on the edge of a field, and then I was walking around kind of the same general area, maybe 300 yards away, and I looked in this trail, and I actually just found my second one. So it's another little half rack, a little bit smaller on this one. But looking back through, there's obviously a good trail, but this is probably the first horizontal rub that I've ever found in Pennsylvania. So it looks like this tree branch broke, and then they started working this little horizontal rub. That may be popular in other states, but I've not seen a lot of that here in Pennsylvania, so kind of neat. But all right, guys, so that's going to be the end of the video. Right now we're sitting at about 8 miles, and we have about 2 miles to get back to the car. We accomplished what we were set out to do today. We found a bunch of buck sign. We did find some scrapes where some turkeys were hanging out, and then we did find some sheds. So I was able to find this good shed not too far from this rub, and then just a couple 100 yards farther down the road, found this little guy. So yeah, great start to the spring. Like I said, it's been about a month since I've been in a tree stand, but it just feels great to be out here. Probably gonna be sore tomorrow, honestly. Got out of shape in a hurry somehow. But came out looking for sign like this, found plenty of that, and then big, you know, half rack, probably 110-inch buck. Be a good one next year. So hope you guys liked this video. Covered a lot of ground. Like I said, got a total like 10 miles in. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that yellow button in front of you. That'll subscribe to our channel. I'm going to be bringing you tons of turkey footage this spring. Looking forward to that. Got some shotgun reviews, and also I was sent a scope from CV Life for Hagen's crossbow. So again, if you like this video, go ahead and smash that yellow button in front of you that says there will be blood outdoors. That'll subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.